Welcome to Between the Browns.
We're Mo and Crystal Brown.
Around here, we're having real conversations about life, love, family, faith, and growth.
Because the best conversations happen in between.
And no matter what season you're in, we're all figuring it out together.
So before we jump into today's conversation, I want to say something to every husband listening. I thought I understood my wife. We built a relationship together. We built businesses together. We've been through a lot, blending families, but nobody told me about perimenopause. You heard about night sweats and going through the changes of life, I think is what my grandma called it. But you never hear enough to where you can have an idea of what to think. I just wish the ladies had talked about it enough to where I could think about how it would impact me as a husband. So this episode is about not having all the answers, but just our experience going through it. So as my wife experiencing this, and we're experiencing it together because we go through everything together.
Together is subjective.
Well, I'm trying to do my part.
Yes, you have. You have been doing your part. From my side, it was just, I didn't know how to explain what I was going through because I don't know. In the beginning, it didn't cross my mind that I was going through perimenopause because when I look in the mirror, I sometimes forget that I am approaching the age of 50 because I don't feel like I look 50.
You don't.
So it was just like perimenopause. I'm thinking I got about 10 more years before I start going through perimenopause. It was hard to explain because I didn't really realize what was going on. And there were other things going on in my life at the time. I don't know. Perimenopause just didn't cross my mind.
Yeah, because we've been busy, constantly working, building businesses, like I mentioned earlier. Blending families is an ongoing process. I can see how it would sneak up on you and us.
Yeah, it definitely snuck up on me in a major way.
So today we're going to talk about this season, what it's taught us, what it's teaching us, how we're both working through it, and the things I've learned and still learning as we're working through it.
Okay.
If you think about it, or if you could pinpoint a point when you actually recognize something's different.
I think I can kind of go back to in 2022 when I broke my ankle. That was a very difficult season for me. During that season, my emotions were all over the place because when you go from being someone who's able to just do everything for yourself to having to depend on your husband and your kids for 5 months and not being able to walk, that affects you mentally.
Right.
I was in a space where I just kind of felt like everything was just circling back to the fact that I broke my ankle and I was in my feelings.
Right.
I would probably say that I entered into the perimenopause stage around 2022, 2023, but I didn't really realize that that's what it was until the end of 2024.
Okay.
I think that's what I would say.
As things were changing, I was thinking the stress of the ankle, business, because we went through a period of working the business and then how it had to change based on the ankle.
Right.
And building a house and moving. I thought those were the main factors.
Right. Yeah, I really just thought I was stressed out and low-key depressed because of my ankle. Then at that time, there were things that were changing in the business and I had my, feelings and thoughts about that. So it was just a lot going on at one time. So I really feel like that's why I didn't realize that perimenopause was knocking on my door until I think I really, really stopped and said, wait a minute, something is not right here.
Safe to say that even though you knew something was wrong, you never put perimenopause at the top of the list.
I didn't because I didn't really know what it was. My mom, she's from the old school. She didn't really talk about perimenopause and nobody in my immediate circle because, I'm the oldest of my friend group. So if anybody's going to go through perimenopause first, it's probably going to be me.
Right.
I did not know until I was scrolling on Facebook one day and I started seeing people talking about perimenopause and talking about, oh my gosh, I can't sleep at night and I'm sweating and I got this going on. I was like, wait a minute, this sounds familiar. That's when I really started paying attention and doing research on my own.
So you started naming night sweats?
Night sweats, just waking up every night between 2 and 3. I would just wake up for no apparent reason. It does not matter what time I would go to bed. I could go to bed at 8 o'clock I could go to bed at midnight. I was waking up just looking at the ceiling like, what's going on here? And I didn't know why, but I was just wide awake.
I'm gonna tell you, I thought it was me. I thought I did something wrong. I thought that you was like, okay, I'm tired of him. I'm ready to just be done with him. I'm tired of sleeping with him. That's why I'm waking up. I'm sleeping with one eye open. I'm just kidding. But as these symptoms started to come, what was the toughest part of you sharing with me? I think this is what's going on with me.
um, I think the toughest symptom for me that I had to deal with was wanting to be intimate with my husband and then the desire just leaving my body. I could look at you and get excited and stuff and
Right, right.
be all tingly inside and then
Tingly,
yeah,
tingly.
tingly.
I
You
like
make
that
me
word.
tingly.
Tingly.
And
Yes.
so then when it's time to act on that, it was just like the desire was just not there. And I was like, what is going on with me? And it's hard to talk about that and hard to explain it to you because I'm sure you're probably thinking, oh, what did I do? Did I piss her off?
Right.
Like,
Yes.
what's going on? Does she not find me attractive? Sure, all of those things were going, through
Yes.
your head. It was hard to explain. I don't know why when it's time to
Get
get
busy.
busy that I'm just like, yeah, I want to go to sleep. So that is probably the symptom that just made me just stop in my tracks. No, something else is going on here because I'm yeah,
What? What?
you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know.
Like we've never had issues like that before. So I was just like, what is going on with me? My husband is still fine. I still find him attractive
Hey, but thank
and I
you.
still want him, but something is just disconnected in my brain or something. And yeah, and I didn't know how to explain it to you because I was really getting to a point where I was just feeling like, am I going crazy? Like, what's going on here?
And yes, and on my end, it's one of those things where you process it. It's hard not to take it personal
Right.
because you feel a rejection and you want to talk about it and you ask about it and your feelings are hurt. To be completely transparent,
Right.
my wife normally is this way and it's not this way. What's wrong?
Right.
Maybe it's the cologne, and I'm not, the things work typically, whether it's this act of service or this love language or it's this thing. You start leaning into those things, and then those things may not work like they worked before. Okay, she just she's not feeling me. And that lasts longer than a typical period. You can feel rejected
Right.
and your feelings hurt. Okay, I want to be patient and try and figure out. But again, initially it was like, okay, there's stress involved. And so even when you didn't say anything or mention perimenopause the first time, I'm like, the ankle, the business, let me just take a step back. Maurice, if you're stressed out, how is it going to impact you? If you're frustrated, how is it going to impact you? Making every effort to not take it personal, but it's hard because it's a way to connect with you because I love you and you fine and chasing you through the house. And like you said, we having those moments 15 minutes later, you looking at me like,
Get out of my face.
right. And I'm like, what happened?
Right.
What did I do?
Okay, so imagine being me and trying to figure out on your own what's going on. There was so much going on at one time that I really could not pinpoint it, but that is the one symptom out of all of them that just really made me, pay attention because I know how we are as a couple. And I knew that something had to be, I don't want to say wrong, but I knew that something was different and something was changing as time went along. Then all of these other things just started happening to my body. The best way I can explain it is sometimes I just feel like I'm having an outer body experience. Like, this is not my body. Why am I feeling this
Right,
way?
right.
I can wake up and sometimes it'll just be so hard for me to focus on things. And
The brain
yeah,
fog.
the
Yeah.
brain fog, walk in a room and forget, what did I come in here for?
Mm.
Or put something down somewhere and have no clue where I put it at. I was just really getting frustrated because I was like, this is not me. Because normally I'm very focused and I can sit down and I can knock something out and be done with it. And I found myself having those moments where I was just like, I cannot focus to save my life. And every little thing at this exact moment now, the stage that I'm in, everything just overstimulates me. That's why I don't like to go anywhere. I like to be in the house because I don't like a lot of noise. Like we had a moment the other night. You're just sitting there eating a snack, eating some sun chips, and I was just so annoyed. But I didn't want to say, "Babe, can you stop eating your sun chips?"
Right.
Because
Right.
it's not all about me; it's about us. But in that moment, I want to knock his head off because why is he eating these chips so hard? But in reality, you're just chewing them normally. But to
Yes.
me, it's like you were sitting right beside me, chewing in my ear, and I was just like, "Oh my God, I'm about to lose it."
Yes. And I appreciate the way you handled it. I could tell you was super annoyed, gritting your teeth and saying it like, I want to murder
I
you.
do.
I want to strangle you and hurt you in a bad way
Yes.
for you chewing those chips. Rip your eyelids off,
Yeah.
throw them in the street, and run them over with the
Yeah.
car.
All of that.
So if you could please just not chew those sun chips
Yeah.
right now.
Well, go outside and eat them.
Yeah, it'd be amazing for both of us, and you could live to see tomorrow.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, this happened a couple of days ago. So last night, I had some sun chips again. I walked in the room and I said, "Babe, I'm gonna take these sun chips. I'm going over to this other part of the room. Actually, it was my closet." I said, "But I got some stuff I got to do on my phone. I'm gonna eat my sun chips in the closet." She's like, "Babe, I'm fine tonight." I said, "You sure? Because I want to make sure I'm okay and you're okay." And she was like, "No, babe, I'm good." I said, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna be eating these sun chips, but I'm gonna be looking at you. And if you seem like you're getting ready to be the least bit bothered, I'm gonna get up and leave." That comes with learning and understanding and
Right.
working on it together as
Right.
best we can. I want to ask you, when you first realized that you were trying to tell me what you knew about perimenopause and explaining it to me, what was that like for you?
I really felt like because when you read all of the symptoms, there are so many symptoms of perimenopause. And I was literally just reading stuff and I'm like, yep, that. Taking naps in the middle of the day. I'm not a napper. I wake up and I just go on about my day and I go to sleep at night. But I found myself just wanting to sleep all the time. And I'm like, this is not normal for me. And the night sweats, like we talked about
Right.
earlier, I went through a period where every night I would wake up and I would just be soaked. I was like, okay, this is crazy. It didn't matter if I had a fan on, if the AC was on, it did
Right.
not matter. I would wake up just sweaty. Thank God for the most part that has passed by.
Right.
On top of that, just waking up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep. I would literally be up for 3 to 4 hours just staring at the ceiling. Okay, sleep, where are you? I got to get up in about an hour.
Yeah. And then be mad with me because I'm
Yeah,
asleep. But go ahead.
exactly.
Go.
You're laying there asleep, snoring, doing whatever, and I'm just like,
Hey,
oh.
hey, hey, now don't do too much on me,
I
but go ahead.
mean, you were snoring, so it is what it is. The random aches and pains in my body, the random itchy spots. I would have times where I would be itching on the bottom of my foot, or my toe was itching, or my elbow. And I'm like, what is going on? When I tell y'all, if you're going through this, it really just feels like you don't even know your body anymore. It's just like, why am I here? I'm a visitor in my own body. I want to switch bodies with somebody else. And it's hard to explain that to someone because when you sit there and name off 15 different things that you're dealing with at any given moment, I'm sure Maurice is looking at me like, you're dealing with all of that? Yes, I am. That's why I'm on edge. That's why I sometimes just go in the corner and sit by myself and not talk to anybody because I don't want to bite anybody's head off because it's not your fault that I'm a woman and I'm going through all of this. But it's just very hard to explain because I know it sounds like the strangest thing you've probably ever heard in your entire life.
I'm not gonna say the strangest thing, but it was definitely a level of processing.
Mhm.
The first time you put a name on it, now I know possibly what I'm dealing with. And I think the biggest mistake for most husbands, because we're natural fixers. This is the problem. I know what it is. I know what my enemy is. This is men 101. My guys that's listening right now, you know how we are. I can size it up and I can put a name to it, a face to it, and let's fix it. That was my initial thing, learning my or our enemy and trying to initially fix it.
Right.
As I started learning and then doing my own research, okay, this is not something that's going to be a quick fix or I can fix for you. And being your husband, there's the helpless moments of I can't make it feel better.
Right.
Even though there's a somewhat of a comfort, okay, it's not me, it's not what I've done, but I still can't fix it. The moments you might have been short with me or tight with me, okay, it wasn't me. I didn't mess up. It switched from there was a couple of rows I went through. How can I fix it? Well, prior to that, a level of what did I do wrong in my feelings or my personal space of hurt, rejection. How can we get closer during this period? I can't fix this for us. Let me research a little more and just trying to understand it more and see how I could be better
Right.
to be supportive of you.
Yeah. And from my side of things, I would get frustrated too because I didn't always understand why I felt the way I felt.
Mm.
So now you got two frustrated people who don't really know what's going on, and some topics you just don't always want to talk about. So it was just hard for me because I knew that my body was changing. I didn't know why it was changing. On top of that, trying to explain all of that to a husband because I know you are a fixer. So trying to explain to you that I don't need you to fix this. I just need you to have a little extra patience and grace with me while I try to navigate living in this new body because it seems like every other day it's something new. And I'm
Right.
just like, oh, okay, well, that's new. Didn't feel that way yesterday. So how are we going to tackle today?
Right, right. As you say, that grace for both of us going both ways is a big thing. Both of us are frustrated. We both want the same thing, but we're coming at it from different angles. Definitely, as your husband, greater grace because you're dealing with it, you're living it, it's your body.
Right.
Even in trying to get information, I may come across some information that you've read and it doesn't work for you. So I have to have considerably more grace and approach is different and asking better questions. My whole perception of the process and how we approach it definitely had to change. It's not a common scenario of a situation that we would have to deal with.
Right.
Use the term new body
Mm-hmm.
quite a few times. So
Yes.
it's a matter of just relearning you as you relearn you every day.
Right.
From a general standpoint, how do you feel a husband can best support his wife during this process?
Ooh, definitely being patient with her, having unlimited amounts of grace for her,
Hmm.
just being in a space where you're there to be helpful because again, you can't fix it. But one of the things that I definitely appreciated about you was the fact that you went and did your own research. And so that really showed me that I'm not alone because sometimes you can feel alone because you're the one dealing with all of these different things that are happening in your body at one time. So I definitely appreciated that you initiated that on your own. And you even came to me with, oh, babe, like I just read this article and look at all these symptoms and some of these are the things that you've been talking about. So that made me dig in a little deeper as well. And it definitely made me feel like you supported me and that you were trying to be more understanding. And one thing that I also love about you, even though we went through that patch where I was just like, yeah, I ain't trying to do none of that. You never made me feel bad, even though I'm sure as a man, you were probably internalizing it. You never made me feel like, oh my God, my wife doesn't want me and what's wrong with her. I never felt that way. You were just there to support me. So
Right.
I definitely appreciate that from you because that's a hard thing to go through on both ends. And I know that sometimes men can they can be
A little.
a little what's the word? They can pressure women sometimes. You have never done that to me, but I have definitely read situations where women feel pressured to perform in that manner when they don't want to. So I'm very grateful that's not the type of person that you are. One of the things that I had to gently remind you.
Gently remind me.
Yes, gently remind you because again, you are a fixer. Sometimes I think you are Olivia Pope's other half because you want to fix things.
Maurice Pope.
Yes,
Okay.
Maurice Pope, Daddy
Okay.
Pope,
That
Papa Pope,
Papa Pope.
Papa Pope.
I don't know. He was We can't go in there, but go
Yeah,
ahead.
anyway. So, I didn't need a solution. I just needed patience. I needed you to believe me. And I don't think I ever felt like you didn't believe me because you know me. I'm a go getter. I've always been that way since you've known me my entire life. That has been me.
Right.
So, I think that when I came to you and I would say, I just don't feel like doing anything today. I think you were probably like, oh, okay. That's very different.
Yes.
So there's definitely something going on with her.
Right.
So I never felt like you didn't believe me. It was difficult for me to understand, difficult for me to explain. And I was just really in that space where I was just trying to understand all of it myself.
Right.
So the biggest thing is don't try to fix it. Don't try to have a solution for the itchy toe or for the night sweats or for anything. Just be there to listen, to support, and be her rock, which is what you're supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think initially my natural instincts kicked in to want to fix.
Right.
I mean, because that's just natural for us
Right.
as men. I had questions. I think looking back, I could have had better questions.
Okay. So looking back, what questions do you feel a husband should ask?
Um, I could have asked. I could have asked the general question like, "How are you feeling today?" Or is there anything I can help with today? And probably more so in a general space of asking that question, just so I can gauge what you may need help with that you might not immediately share because you're in a certain space of this is going on and you might not need to do anything. You just might want to talk, or you might just want to sit in silence, or you might need me to take the kids somewhere just to give you that space. How are you feeling today, or how are you coping? Would that have been helpful for you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um,
Especially for someone who was just used to doing things themselves. So that definitely would have helped.
Thinking from a bigger picture or a larger picture, asking myself, am I getting ready to get upset because of something that's legitimate, or is this something that might be tied to perimenopause? The chips scenario. You talking to me through gritted teeth, I could easily get upset. I don't even like the way she's saying that to me.
Right.
But in the moment, when I looked at you, I had that split second of being upset,
Hmm.
but then I recognized this is a perimenopause thing.
Right.
So I had to ask myself that question. But I know a year ago, 2 years ago, I'm not doing that.
Right.
Hopefully, it helps someone if you get to that conversation early of perimenopause to be able to say, let me recognize this is where I'm at. This is where we are.
Right.
It's not even about me. It's not even about these chips. This is about my wife's going through something. This will pass. So let me not get caught in the weeds on it. Are you doing your research? Are you digging in to find out what are the symptoms? What are ways you can be supportive? What are support groups? Healthy support groups. I will say that much. Because you don't want to be in a space where folks are complaining. You
Right.
want to be in a space where folks are trying to be supportive of the women going through perimenopause and sharing ways that they're helping and being supportive. I think that's a good question to ask, and being around people that are trying to be helpful
Right. Absolutely.
and just reminding yourself to not take things personal.
That's a big one.
Yes. Taking it personal will have you on the wrong side of the situation because it's not personal. If your wife could change out of her body into her pre-perimenopausal body, she would, and not feel the way that she's feeling, she would not have the symptoms that are associated with perimenopause, she would. Who wants to feel achy and itchy and sweaty and insomnia and all the list of things that are associated with it? No woman wants to feel that way.
Nope.
So what do you think? What do you think the women have to do from their side?
Um, from a woman's point of view, we have to be honest too with our spouse or our partners because sometimes we want them to understand, but we haven't fully told them what's happening because we're still trying to figure it out. When I first had an inkling that I might be going through perimenopause, I probably should have had that conversation with you like, hey, babe, I've been doing a little research. I think this is what's going on instead of just trying to carry that load by myself and just figure it out on my own. You have always been a very supportive partner. So I definitely could have initiated the conversation sooner with you. So there would not have been those periods of you feeling however you were feeling, depending on whatever I was going through at the time. So just start the conversation. Even though you don't have all the answers, sit down with your person and be like, hey, I think that I may be in the beginning stages or I might be in full blown perimenopause.
Yes.
Definitely keeping those lines of communication open and also just not expecting your partner to just know what's going on with you. Because, like I said, today I could be perfectly fine. Tomorrow might be a crap show. You know, I might have a moment where the smallest thing can just make me emotional and I just start crying. Like I had when was that, last week?
Yes.
And I don't even remember what it was. I think I was just overwhelmed. I was overstimulated and overwhelmed. And I don't even remember what we were talking about. And literally in the middle of the conversation, I just started crying because I was just like, I hate the way I feel. I don't oh, I know what it was. I was trying to complete a project and I could not focus to save my life. And I was
Yes.
just like, I'm over this. I want to go back to how I was before perimenopause started knocking on my door. I want to be able to get everything done that I want to get done. And I was just so over it. And literally just started crying in the middle of the conversation with
I
Maurice.
remember
And
that.
he's looking at me like, oh God, what am I supposed to do? And it was just like, oh my gosh, keeping the lines of communication open. You have to, like, don't be closed off. You know, when I first started having those feelings of I want my husband, but then when it's time to act on it, I don't want to do it anymore. I should have been more open with him. And instead of just saying, no, I don't want to, I should have explained, I don't have all the answers yet, but this is how I'm feeling,
Right.
so that I could have saved him from just feeling rejected. So it's just communication, y'all. Communication. You have to communicate with your partner. You can't expect them to just know how you're feeling that day. And like Maurice said, from the man's point of view, just asking, hey, babe, how do you feel today? What's going on? Is anything hurting today? Is today going to be a good day or not? So just, yeah.
And recognize, men, that could change
Yes.
throughout the day. One thing I definitely want to give you your props on and I appreciate is when those days do take a turn and we might cross wires, Crystal will come back to me afterwards and she'll say, you know, babe, wasn't feeling my best at that moment. You know, I'm sorry. Or she'll let me know that she recognized that she was frustrated in the moment. And I recognize it too. And I understand that this is not my wife doing this. This is perimenopause doing this. In my head, I process it that way.
Now, don't be out there cussing your husband out and blaming it on perimenopause.
Look, that is a good point too. but I process it that way, and I probably should have told her that. But I process it that way.
But I don't cuss you out. Let's just be clear.
You don't. But
I might be a little snappy sometimes,
right,
but I don't just cuss you out.
But even with being snappy and both of us understanding that it's coming from a different space, I still appreciate the fact that Crystal comes to me and we hug and we love through that. It helps us work our way through it. We're going through perimenopause and I'm supporting her through perimenopause. 25 snappy moments and no apology can be daunting and frustrating, but I appreciate her for coming back to me. It goes a long way to hear that and feel that.
Whew.
Yeah.
That was a loaded episode right there.
Yeah, it was. You know, today's conversation made you realize as a husband that you're looking at your wife and you're not really recognizing what she's struggling with, what she's fighting through, what she's dealing with. Don't feel guilty about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just start learning and maybe ask some good questions. Your wife probably doesn't realize what she's going through. She's not perfect. She just knows something's changing with her body and she's dealing with something that's a little different. She needs your support. She needs you as a partner. Just continue to evolve and be the best partner that you can be and recognize that you can do this. You got into this together and you can work through this together.
Yeah. And if you're the wife, we're going through it. We're in the middle of it. It's our body. I want you to know that you are not crazy, sis. You might feel crazy sometimes, but you are not crazy. You are not broken and you are not alone. You have your partner. And if you are alone, then it'll be imperative to find people that can support you while you're going through this, because we definitely don't want to just assume that you have a partner.
Absolutely.
So if you do not have a partner, find some support groups. There are tons on Facebook. You can message me and I can tell you some of the support groups that I am in if you need support during this time. But just remember that this is a season that definitely requires communication.
Mm-hmm.
Lots and lots of communication, lots of honesty, lots of grace and support on both ends.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, we definitely want to thank you for listening to Between the Browns.
We hope that today's conversation has encouraged you, gave you something to think about, or reminded you that no matter what season you are in, you're not figuring it out alone. If this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who may need this conversation. And if you haven't already done so, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss our next episode. We'd also love for you to leave a review and let us know what topics you want us to talk about next. And remember, perfect relationships don't exist.
But intentional ones do.
And that's life.